Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to show you a bunch of different quad stretches, okay? So quadriceps are the group of muscles that run from the hip to the knee, all right? And what we're going to focus on is the tissue that's really on the front of the thigh bone, not so much on the tissue that crosses the front of the hip. So I find that this stuff really gets missed. Anybody who comes in for a stretch on the table, we always find these muscles are tight on everybody, right? So when we're sitting, these muscles are shortened. Okay, and it just happens. So don't feel bad. We've all got them, but let's stretch them. All right, guys, I'm not gonna lie. This one is a bit of a fuss, but it's worth it. So you're gonna have a nice cushy pillow, something for your bottom knee. This could be your sofa. I love doing this one in front of the couch. Feels nice to have something soft to put your foot on here. But if you're like me and you don't own furniture, you're gonna use the wall. You need a piece nearby to help you balance, okay? This is really, really important. Don't skip this piece, okay, unless you're very, very confident with your balance, all right? So to get into this stretch, we're gonna stretch the right leg first. I'm not gonna mirror you for this one, just to make 100% sure that we're clear. So I'm gonna place my right knee down on the pillow and my left knee on the floor here, okay? I've got a big hand's width between my leg and the wall. That's roughly a good place to start for most people. Okay, now get your weight off that back knee. Make sure you're holding onto something for balance. Okay, you can even bring this hand to the floor, and then you're gonna pivot this foot onto the wall, okay? From here, come up tall. And if your knee is already complaining, don't do this stretch, okay? You risk bothering your knee. There's plenty of other ways to do it. Check the next slide for one that doesn't touch your knees at all, okay? So we're gonna lift the front of the hip up, all right? And just make sure you have your hand on something because I want you to close your eyes so the balance will be more challenging, all right? So close your eyes, take a nice deep breath and just see what you feel here, okay? Now, if you're feeling a nice stretch in the front of your thigh, just relax and enjoy it. All right, now to add to it, or if you're not feeling that stretch, here are your cues. I want you to take the front of your hip, find that hip bone, you're gonna try to lift it higher. Okay, it's going up in this direction. Your tailbone in the back is going down towards the floor. Okay, so we've got this. This is our posterior pelvic tilt. All right, so we're trying to get the front of the pelvis to rise and the back of the hips to drop a little bit. Okay, now be careful, especially my hypermobile people, don't shove down and under, okay? It's really irritating for the hips. Want them nice and light and just turn them gently. Beautiful. Next step, this is the money piece right here. Angle this rib down towards the hips. Oh, as long as you keep that pelvis still when you do that, you're gonna feel a really juicy stretch through that thigh, okay? If you have questions as to why it works like that, with that little flex on the rib cage, just ask. I won't go into it now. I'll just let you enjoy the burn. Okay, let's close the eyes here. Just take a nice deep breath. If you want to deepen it even more, move your whole body backwards towards that wall. So we're deepening the bend in the knee, which is going to slide that stretch further down the thigh. Okay. You might even find that you can bring a hand to the couch or to the wall behind you, whatever you're using. Oh, beautiful. Now, if you get to this point where you're almost like your hip is behind your knee, that's a sign that you might want to move this knee backwards towards the wall for a deeper stretch. Okay. Whew. That is good. All right. So we're feeling this from about here down. There's a little feather of a stretch here in the front of the hip, but we don't want to kind of deal with too much of this tissue at once. I want you to focus on that thigh. Ooh, beautiful. Nice soft breath. Keep those ribs dropping down, front of the hips floating up. Okay, heels should be right in line with your back pocket. Shoulders nice and soft. Oh my gosh, I'm so bossy. Beautiful. All right, guys, coming out. Please don't stand up from here, okay? You're gonna shift your weight forward again. Get something in front of you Put your hands on the floor, get your weight off that back knee. Now, whichever side your big toe is on, move that big toe towards the floor. And then you can safely stand up on that left leg. Okay, give it a little shake, see how it feels. All right, same thing on the other side, guys. So this is my go-to stretch. It's very user-friendly, goes with you everywhere. So if you're waiting for the bus or the tube, or you're in line at the grocery store, yeah, don't be shy, do your stretches. So just make sure that you've got something to hold on to, okay, unless you're really confident with your balance. All right, and we're gonna whip that heel up towards the bottom and catch the foot. You wanna make this a nice quick movement so you don't risk cramping your hamstring, okay? So just flick that foot up and catch the top of your ankle with your hand, all right? Now, if you're rolling your eyes going, oh my God, I'm never gonna be able to do that, flip to the next video, okay? Now, we're going to do just like we have in all the previous stretches, lift the front of that pelvis. So we want that nice posterior tilt on the pelvis, tailbone's going down, pubic bone's coming up, okay? Just like before, lower those ribs. This is how we get to the quads, all right? And now what you can do is like a little kind of bicep curl. You're gonna lift your hand straight up the back of your body, like you're tractioning your lower leg, like you're gonna slide it up here, okay? Now at the same time, send that knee down towards the floor. So if, as I'm saying this, you're kind of wondering like, how do I send my knee? Don't overthink it, just say the words in your head. Send my knee towards the floor. And there you go. So that's gonna start kind of eliciting some reactions from your nervous system. If you just keep kind of meditating on the words like a little mantra, send my knee towards the floor. Send my knee towards the floor, good. Lift the hip, send the knee, beautiful. I want you to feel a little bit of tone on those glutes, like they're working a little bit, okay? All right, and let's release that off. So a couple little notes about that one. You might find when you get started that your knee's pointing out to the side like this. Okay, that's a sign that you might be a little tight on that IT band on the side of the leg if you're having trouble getting the knees together. Okay, so what you can do, start where it feels doable. Okay, put a little bend in that supporting leg. Work on lowering this knee down until the thighs touch. Okay, and you can relax and then roll it down again and relax. So ideally, we're gonna get this stretch happening with the knee straight below the hip socket, okay, and not pulled out to the side, all right? But it can take some time, so just keep at it. All right, and then once you've got that knee down, then you can start working on positioning those hips up a little higher each day. All right, you guys, so here's another stretch for the quads that is not gonna put any pressure on your knees, okay? So you need a stool, piano bench, ottoman, whatever, something to sit on, okay? Ideally, if it has a back, you're just gonna need to make sure it's out of your way, all right? So what you're gonna do is put the corner of the bench between the legs, and then you're gonna do a little quarter or kind of eighth of a turn to face the front of the chair. Sit on your right hip. Let that left leg drop down, okay? You're gonna tuck those toes. And notice I'm kind of on an angle, so I've really got my body weight over this hip, so this leg is free. That's how we keep that knee safe, is by not loading it up with a lot of weight, all right? So keep that little lean over to the right while you get that left leg organized. And you want it free, so it's not bumping into the chair, getting caught, okay? Toes are tucked under so they're nice and active. Nice. All right, and now we're gonna really turn that pelvis. So here's our posterior tilt. I'll just turn sideways so you can really see. So we're taking the tail down and the front of the hips up, okay? And right away, we start to feel some stretch down that thigh, okay? Notice that my knee is dropped straight down below my pelvis, kind of at 6 o'clock, or maybe a few degrees behind. But what we don't want to do is stretch this way back here. It's not a bad thing, it's just not really going to catch the quadriceps. It'll get more hip flexor, okay? So if you need to open the thigh, I want you to concentrate on a nice deep bend in the knee and then getting that pelvis turned. Great work. Okay, now just like the last video, we're gonna roll those ribs down, okay? So what we wanna do is try to engage this, pull it all in together, okay? Exhale, ribs down. Exhale, hips up. Squeeze that bum a little bit. Okay, and now here's the sweet little piece on the end. What you can do is just try to pull that heel back a few degrees without letting your tailbone go. And you're gonna feel that stretch come right down into that thigh. Nice work. And you can relax it off. Let's go one more time. Roll that heel back. Keep the glutes tight. So if you let your butt go, you're gonna lose the whole thing. So you've gotta keep the pelvis steady and then move that thigh bone back. Nice work. Good, ribs stay down towards the hips, so all this is collected. Nice. All right, and let's let that go. Whew. Lovely, guys. So make sure you do that one on the other side as well, and let me know how it goes. All right, guys, so if you say you've had an injury, or perhaps there's somebody in your life who struggles with stretching, this would be a great one to show them. I did this one with my dad after his hip replacements, and he coped with it really well. So grab a pillow and place it on a chair. And what I would also suggest is putting yourself near a wall or a countertop. So anybody who's new to stretching, you want to make sure that you've got lots of just things around you can use to help you balance. We don't want to be contending with balance at the same time as we're stretching. They're different skills. Work on them separately, and then when they're both strong, put them together, okay? So what we're gonna do is place this shin on the chair, okay? Now, you wanna get the height right so that your pelvis is, you can see my hips are a little bit crooked now, that's fine. But if they're really, really off, this isn't gonna work nicely. So you wanna be able to place that knee down and still have some weight on this foot so that you're not loading up that knee too much, okay? Now from here, all we have to do is those same cues that we did before. All right, so if I spin around this way, okay, so we've got both legs pointing straight down to 6 o'clock. Only difference is we've got that knee bent, all right? And now I just want you to work on that same tilt of the pelvis. So lifting the front of the hips up, bringing that tailbone down. There you go. And you find if you're tight in the quad, you'll feel that stretch. Okay, lifting hips up. Good. And then lowering the front of that rib cage down a little bit. Keep tucking that bum. So you need to really use your glutes to get that stretch in the front of the thigh. Okay, beautiful. So guys, you might even find if you're really tight, if you're just at the beginning of this journey, that standing with your feet underneath you, okay, and putting that tilt on the hips, if you stand nice and tall, okay, I've had some clients who feel that stretch just from standing up nice and straight, okay, and that's great. Wherever you feel that stretch is valuable, okay, don't feel the need to kind of move on too quickly. Okay, so let me know how that goes. I'd love to hear from you. My fellow movement professionals out there, get your moms and dads stretching, right? Or if you've had a knee or ankle injury, this is a great one to just keep those thighs open while you're getting better. Okay, guys, see you next time.